Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to the first chapter of the Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design. Okay, so here in this particular chapter, we'll be learning about a character designing with basic tools. Okay, so as we know that we are going to learn t-shirt designing in detail and three other different softwares. Okay, so first I'll be starting on with the Adobe Illustrator, like how we'll be able to do some t-shirt design in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, after that, we will be going on to the Photoshop, and lastly, we'll be looking how you'll be able to use Canva for t-shirt designing. Okay, so Canva is quite an easy tool and quite good as well. Okay, but I'll be explaining you guys about the Illustrator and the Photoshop at first, because this is the one uh, most of the professionals they use to get some stunning designs, and you'll be able to create some designs of your own. Okay, so here we'll be learning about that. So once you're familiar and once you know how you can use or how you can do t-shirt designing in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, so once you come to Canva, that time it will be quite easy for you guys to make it out. Okay, how you will be able to design a t-shirt. Okay, so I'll be starting out with the Illustrator, followed by the Photoshop, and after that I will be going on to the Canva. So here I will be telling you guys about this character designing, give you some guide about the basic tools over here. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So here, as you guys can already see, okay, so now I am here in the home page of the Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so if you guys know already that these are the presets, okay, like the paper, and from here basically I will be able to see all the recent files which are over here. And from here basically if you had worked in any file before, and from here basically if you have saved it in your system or in your cloud space, in that case you guys can come here and open it accordingly. And from here, if you have saved any of your files, it will be saved right over here. So let's create a new file from here. Okay, so the first thing what I'll do is I will be giving this as a name. Okay, so I will be naming this one as character designing. Okay, and here the width of the page is fine, the height is okay, and there are different units which you guys can use. Okay, so I'll be keeping this one as inches itself, and from here basically you guys will be able to choose that how many artboards do you guys want. Okay, so if you want to use only one artboard, in that case just keep only one. And bleed over here, okay, so bleeds are basically the lining just outside your paper or the artboard margin. Okay, so those are the lines which won't be printed. Suppose once you are printing your thing down, in that case they will cut out the bleed from there. Okay, so this is extra part. Okay, so once you're working that your main thing doesn't get cut, in that case you put this bleed. So from here, now you guys can also choose the color mode. So they do have CMK and RGB color mode from here. Different raster effects. I have kept it in medium, and here you guys can see this is the preview mode. So I'll just keep it in default. And now I will just click on create option. So here you guys can see now I have this particular page right over here. And this is the workspace in which we are going to do our designing. Okay, so let's get familiar with this particular tools which I do have over here. So on the left hand side of this box here, as you guys can see, this is basically my toolbar. Okay, so all these are the tools which we'll be using. So here with the selection tool, you guys will be able to select a thing down, move it up. Okay, if you want to move it around, you guys will be able to move it around. And mostly you guys will be using this selection tool only to move out your things. Okay, to actually give a nice shape and all. In that case you guys will be using this one. Okay, so now let's come to this option right over here. Okay, and now this is the direct selection tool. Suppose for that, let me just make some shapes. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have a rectangle box. So basically these are shape tools. Okay, so if I just right click on my mouse, here you guys can see I do have different shapes which I can create. Okay, so let me just create a shape over here. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have a shape. And from here, I will be able to change the color. Okay, so this middle part over here, this is called the fill. Okay, so here you guys can see now I have selected that particular color for my fill over here. Okay, and if I do want to add any stroke to it, I can come here, click on any color of stroke which I want. Suppose I will take this color stroke. Okay, so let's just take this one right over here, or this one. And what I can do is from the stroke option, now I will just increase the stroke size. Okay, so here you guys can see this is how you guys will be able to make some designs. Okay, so here using the strokes and also the fill. And after that, let's come to this direct selection tool. Once I select the direct selection tool, suppose if you want to do any manipulation of the shape which you made, you guys can come here onto the anchor and you guys can do some animation kind of like this. And suppose if you want to duplicate this one, okay, so I will just come here and now I will just click on alt. Okay, and now I will be able to duplicate this layer right from here as well. Okay, so here you guys can see I have duplicated this one. If I come here and if I want to increase its size, I will be able to increase its size quite like this over here. And here you guys can also see that you guys do have some kind of a nice effect over here. Okay, so here you guys can see if you want to increase it a little bit, you guys can come here and put the both of these things here in the same line. Okay, so these are the type of shapes which you guys can make. Okay, if you want to send it backward, in that case I can click on this and now I can come to arrange option and I can go to send to back option. So now if I just select this one, okay, so I can just come over here. Let's select this. If you want to increase the size, you guys will be able to increase the size kind of like this. Okay, if you want to increase the size a little bit, you guys will also be able to do that. So from down also, if you want to do the same, you guys can come here and do it accordingly. Okay, so you guys can make some shapes and designs. Okay, and this is the pen tool. So using pen tool, you guys will be able to make different designs. Suppose from here, if I want to make some different design, so if I just click on shift here, you guys can see it's making a straight curve. Okay, so here you guys can see now if I come here and if I want to give this thing another kind of rotation, so I can come over here and suppose from this point what I'm going to do is I am going to make some shape like this. And now let's come over here and now let's make another shape, and from here let's just join it up. So I'll just click here on the intersect option. And from here, you do have the option like if you don't want that part, you guys can click over there. And if you want to just change it, you guys can come here, select the path, and you guys can change those accordingly. Okay, so you can come over here. Let's select this one. Okay, and now if I just select my selection tool, and if I want to make it kind of small, I will just click on shift, and if I as I want to make it small proportionally, I can come here, maybe put this one right over here, right click, go to arrange option and bring to front. Okay, so I will just bring this to front over here. If I want to change the color, come on to this option, and from here you guys will be able to change the color. Okay, so here you guys can see, and I hope you guys have understood this part. So let me just keep it here on one side. So the thing what we are going to learn today is we are going to make some characters with the help of all of this basic tool. Okay, so here I do have my shape builder tool. Suppose I want to make a shape over here. In that case, what I can do is I can just come here, select with the selection tool. Okay, select both of this, and from here what you can do is select the shape builder tool, and now just click on this one and this one all together. And here you guys can see now I do have this particular shape. Okay, so now let's see, and here you guys can check how it actually looks. Okay, so the same way I will just select it with my selection tool. So for me, I will come here. Again, I'll select the shape builder tool. And now if I want to join this one with this, I will just join this thing all together. So here you guys can see now this total shape right over here is one. Okay, so this is how you guys will be able to create something like that. Okay, so now let's come to this option if you want to add any kind of text. Okay, so here you guys can keep on the text. Suppose I want to choose a different font. In that case, I'll come here to the font option. And if I want to select this kind of font, then I'll select this one. And now with the selection tool, I'll increase the size. Click on shift and now increase the size quite like this and just put it here on the middle, like wherever you want to put. So now here, if you want to give up a different color, you guys can come here and just put up a white color right over this. And the same way, if you want to add some stroke, okay, you guys can come here and also add some strokes accordingly. Okay, so I'll just put up a stroke kind of like this. If I want to give a black color, I'll just give up a black color over here. Okay. So now over here, let's start with making the character. So for that, now I am going to take this rectangle tool and now with shift. So once I click on shift, I will be able to create some shapes. So now after selecting it from here, okay, I have made a box proportionally. Select it, okay. And what you can do is if you want to make some changes on these corners, if you want to decrease the sharpness of these corners, in that case, here as you guys can see, now if I come here, select this one and if I just bring it in, okay, here you guys can see it is just coming from all the sides, okay. But suppose I just want to change the sharpness of one angle out of these four. Okay, so in that case, I just need to double tap onto that one, and from there, okay, so first I just need to double tap. Okay, I need to double tap over here, and from here, this is how you guys will be able to make some changes. Okay, so let's come over here again. Okay, so let's select this one and now just let's bring it right over here. And the same way, what I'm going to do is I am going to come here, select this box, and from here I will just come here, select it. Okay, so come to this side, and what you can do is you can also bring things down from this side over here as well. Suppose I will just select it from this end. Okay, so if I want to make some changes from this end as well, I will be able to make some changes from this end here as well. Okay, so now I have created a shape quite like this. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I am going to give this thing a rotation. Okay, so here as you guys can see, now I do have given this thing a rotation. What I'm going to do now over here is I will take the rounded rectangle, and in that case I will come here and I'll just make up a rounded rectangle box. So again, with my selection tool, I'll select it up and just keep it somewhere over here. Okay, so here you guys can see I'll just keep this one centrally, and suppose this one, what I want to do is I want to select this one and this one together, and now I want to decrease the sharpness of both of these sides. Okay, so here you guys can see I have decreased the sharpness according to my need. And what I'm going to do now is I'll right click on my mouse, and from here I will go to the arrange option, and now I want to send it back. Okay, so here you guys can see now I had sent this thing back over here. So here, what I want to do is I want to put on some colors. So I will come here and now I will just put on some colors over here, and now I'll click on OK. And this part, I will give some natural color of the skin. Okay, so let's try to find something in yellow, and now just give something light. Okay, so I will just give some light colors, and now I will just click on OK. So here you guys can see, if you want to give some stroke to it, you guys can come here and maybe give some strokes to it, and you guys will also be able to change the stroke color from here. Okay, So if you want to explore these colors, you guys can come here and just put on these colors. And there are different swatches as well. You guys will be able to select it from swatches as well. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have given a stroke. So if I do want to change the stroke color again, I can come here and maybe I will just try to select some different colors. So let's select this one. And now this kind of looks great. Okay, so now I have made the head part of the character. So the next thing what I need to do is I need to make some eyebrows, some eyes, nose, mouth, ears, and the body. So now what I am going to do right over here is I will come onto this option, and from here now I will again take this rectangle tool. Okay, so now if you want to zoom in a bit, okay, you guys can come here and click on Control plus enter from your keyboard. Okay, so you guys can come here. Let me just put this one quite over here. Let's take this inside. Okay, if you just want to move gradually, you guys can just click over here and you guys will be able to move gradually over here as well. Okay, so the same way if you come here, let's come to this option, and now let's put it somewhere over here. Let's go to the right side a bit. Okay, so now yeah, this is fine. So now I am going to create some eyebrows. Okay, so I will just create this eyebrow over here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go to the color picker option, and from the color picker option I will just take a black color, and here you guys can see my eyebrow is done. Okay, so if I want to change the width of this one, okay, if I want to change the sharpening option, I can come here, and from here I will be able to decrease the corner radius. So if I just increase it, I will be able to do it from here. Okay, if you want to do it, you guys can directly do it and come here, and what I can also do is select my selection tool, and from here now what I want to do is I want to copy this. So in that case I'll just click on Alt, and now I will just copy this part. So now from here, I will come and I have just copied this one. What I'll do is I will come here and I'll just put it right over here in this place. Okay, so let me set where do I want to put these eyebrows, and maybe just if you just want to give this thing a rotation, you guys will be able to give this thing a rotation as well. Okay, so I'll just keep this one right over here, and here you guys can see if I want to select both of this, I will use Shift, and now I want to align it quite nicely. Okay, so from here now I want to align it quite properly right over here. Okay, if you want to align it here in the same line, come here onto this vertical align center option, and you'll be able to vertically align all of this. Okay, so now again I will come to my shape tool, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some ellipse. Okay, and now I will just create the eyes over here, take the selection tool, and what I'm going to do is I am going to change its color. Okay, so I will just give this thing a white color and maybe put this here in the exact center. So here you guys can see now I have just put this one here in the center. Uh, Click onto this option. Okay, and now just select this part, and once you are over here, once you just put it here in the center, okay, come to this option, and now just select this part and just right click. Okay, so you just need to right click over here, go to arrange and bring to front. Okay, so I have just bought this thing here in the font, and now I will just select both of this, and what I can do is I can just group this thing. So once I've grouped here, you guys can see once I'm moving both of this, it's moving all together. Okay, so now again I will just create a duplicate. So I'll just click on Alt, and here you guys can see once I click on Alt, once I'm over to this icon, I will be able to duplicate this one kind of like this. Okay, so now I have duplicated this one, and what I can do is I can just put these eyes over here, and also I will come here and I will just bring this thing quite like this. Okay, if I want to align both of it, I'll select this one, click on shift and just align it from here. Okay, so now this is quite aligned as well. So I'm done with the eyes here as well. If you want to increase the size, in that case you guys can ungroup, and after that ungrouping you guys can come here, and if you want to increase the size a little bit, you guys will be able to increase the size a little bit from here as well. Okay, so now the same way I will come on to this option. I can also do the same right over here. Okay, so now ungroup it again, and from here just select this part, and if you want to increase the size, here you guys can see you guys will be able to increase the size quite like this from here as well. Okay, so now I will just come here, select this part and put it here in the middle. So here you guys can see. Okay, so again, if I just go back to its original shape. Okay, so I will just go back over here. Now, what I want to do is I want to make the nose. So for that, I will come here. I will take the rounded rectangle tool, and now I will just create a line kind of like this. And from here, if you want to actually decrease the size, okay, so if you want to sharpen it a little bit, you guys will be able to sharpen it a little bit over here as well. Okay, so now in this part, if I want to change the color, I will come double click onto this option, and from here maybe I will just go on the darker side a little bit. Okay, so I'll select this one and I'll just click on OK. And again with my selection tool, now I will just select this part and bring it here in the center. Okay, so I will just put this one here in the center. Okay, so here I am done with the nose part here as well. If I want to create the ears, go to the ellipse tool and just make some things like that. Okay, select this selection tool, click on Alt and just duplicate this layer here as well. Okay, so now I will just put the ears quite right over here. Okay, and the same way I will come to this part and I will align it properly as well. So make sure that you do have your smart guide on. Okay, so if I want to uh, put this thing here on the backward side, I can come here, click on this option, right click, go to arrange, and from there I will click on send to back. Same over here, right click, go to arrange and send to back. So here you guys can see now I have sent those things to the back. So now what I can also do is I want to make the mouth over here. So you can use this pen tool, okay? But for me, what I'll use is I will use the shape tool only. So I will come here, I will just create one shape quite like this. If I want to create some shapes like this, here you guys can see this is how you guys will be able to create the shapes. And after that, again, what I'll do is I will just create some shapes. Okay, so here you guys can see now I have created a bigger shape over here. What I can do is I can come here and now I can just put it wherever I want, like however I basically want the mouth to be. Okay, so if I come here and after that, let me just put it here in the center. What I can also do is I will just bring this thing down a little bit. Okay, so I will just bring this thing down over here. And now I will just select both of this part. And from here, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my shape builder tool. Okay, so here now I do have my shape builder tool. And what I'm going to do is first I will just join both of this. And lastly, I will just click on Alt when I'm here in my shape builder tool. And now if I select here, you guys can see that particular part has been deleted. Now what I can do is I can just bring it somewhere over here. Okay, so if you want to bring it, you guys can kind of bring it over here. Okay, so if you want to go back, you guys can come here in the back side again. Okay, so the same way, if I just go back, if I want to create this line proportionally, I will come here, make a circle, kind of like this. And again, the same way, I will just create another circle over here. So I will put this tool quite right over here in the middle. Okay, if I wanna just go a bit on top. I will come here on top a little bit. Okay. So now I need to make sure that I am here in the exact center. So now again, take the shape builder tool. Okay. So with the shape builder tool, before that, I need to make sure that I'm choosing out the places, and now take the shape builder tool and just join both of this. And after that, click on Alt and delete this part. Take your selection tool again, and from here basically you guys will be able to make some vases. So let's take some white color over here. Okay, or let's just put up a cream color. So I will just double click onto my fill option, and from here maybe just I'll take some colors like this. Click on OK. So here you guys can see now I do have the face shape over here as well. Okay. So this is how we guys can actually create some shapes. And if you want to create the neck, in that case, select this one and just create a neck quite like this. And now put it right over here. Okay, so I'll just put the neck over here. Right click again, go to arrange and send to back. Okay, so I can just send it to back. If I want to get it on top a little bit, I will be able to get these things here on top. Okay, and now lastly, I will again take my ellipse tool, and with my ellipse tool I just want to make the body. Okay, so let me just select this one, and if I just want to zoom out, I will just zoom out a little bit with my selection tool. What I'm going to do is I am going to come over here, and now I am going to decrease its size. Okay, so I will just decrease its size a little bit, kind of like this, and just put it here in the center. Okay, so what you can also do is you can come over here and maybe just duplicate this shape. Okay, so in that case I will be able to duplicate the shape as well. But the other way of using your shape builder to come here and just create a line. Okay, so once I'm here in the center, I want to create a straight line. And now what I'm going to do is take my selection tool, and with my selection tool I'm going to select all of it. And from here, now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my shape builder tool again, and from here basically I want to delete this part. So I'll just click on Control and Alt, and I'll just delete this part, and this part here as well I just want to delete. So here, if I want to give a different color, I will be able to give up some different colors over here as well. So let's select this part. And from this part, what I'm going to do is I am going to come here in the color option. And from the color option, maybe I'll just take this colors over here. Okay, so here you guys can see now here I do have a character which I have just built using all these basic tools. And just underneath, if I want to use my type tool, so what I can do is I can come here and maybe I will just make a type box. Okay, so I can come over here, and now I will just write a name. Okay, so let me just write Johnny. Okay, and now what I can do is I can just select this text, and I will be able to increase its size. Okay, so if I just come here and let's increase the size a little bit, and yeah, this kind of looks good. And if I want to change the font type, I will be able to change the font type over here as well. Okay, so you guys can come back and just deselect, and here you guys can see I can just write these things down. If you want to select it and if you just want to put here on top, okay, you guys will be able to put this one here on top as well. The same time, if you want to decrease the size a little bit, you guys will be able to decrease the size a little bit from here. Okay, so the same way, if you come and if you just move it on top a little bit, if I select this one, if I want to decrease the size of my letters, so I will also be able to decrease it. So now let's put this one here in the middle. Okay, so now the same way, if I want to decrease the size of the box, I will be able to decrease the size of the box from here as well. So now let's try to put it here in the center. Okay, so now let's come to this option, and now let's just put it here in the center as well. Okay, if you feel that you need to do some arrangements or some alignment, in that case you guys can do all of that. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class on how you will be able to make some characters using these simple tools in Illustrator. Okay, so you can do these designs in your t-shirt as well. Okay, so this was the first class on t-shirt designing. Hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design. Okay, so this is the chapter number 2 where I'll be showing you guys t-shirt designing with typography. Okay, so there are different ways which you can follow while you are working in Illustrator. I will also show you how you will be able to use different icons, pre-downloaded items, okay, to make your t-shirt design look better. So let's get started with the class of t-shirt designing with typography in Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design class. So here, as you guys can see, now I am here in the home page of the Adobe Illustrator. So from now, what I'm going to do is I will just click on the new file option and I will name this one as typography. Okay, so I will just write typography t-shirt. Okay, so I will just write typography t-shirt over here, and now here you guys can check. I do have a width of 11, height is 8.5, bleed is fine, color mode is CMYK. Okay, if you want to select this one in the RGB color mode, you guys can also do that for a different size. Okay, so CMYK color, and just click on this create option. So here you guys can see now I do have a new workspace in which I'm going to work. So this red line just outside my margin over here of the artboard, this is basically called the blend. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to type things down. So for that, I need to take my type tool over here. And suppose I want to make some t-shirt design. Okay. So for me, first, what I'll do is I will just try to find out some codes. Okay. So, let's see what all codes do we have over here. Okay, so let's search for t-shirt design ideas. So I will just take this code, the grass is greener where you water it. Okay, so I will take this one, and this is the place website called the free pick, from where you guys will be able to take up different icons which you guys can download from here and put it in your list as well. Like once you do your t-shirt design, in that case you guys will be able to download some of the Illustrator file from here, like AI file from here, and you guys will be able to put those in your editing as well, or in your graphic design. Okay, so now I will come here, I will just click this one, and now I will come here, I will click on T, and now I will come and I'll just click on backspace, and after that now I will just write the. Okay, so I will just and now what I'll do is I'll come here down again, and now I will just write grass is, and now again what I'll do is I will come down over here, and now from here I will type greener, and from here again I will come and I will just write greener where you, and come down again. Okay, so select this part and type water it. Okay, so I will just write water it from here. So now as you guys can see, now I am done over here. So I have made 5 text boxes. So the thing what I am going to do over here is I am going to place them accordingly. Okay, so now here if you want to see if I want to make it bigger. So let's get this 148. Okay, so if I want to increase its size, I will also be able to increase its size from here. Okay, so here you guys can see. Now I will just place this thing over down. Okay, so I will just place this down over here. Okay, place this underneath this one, and lastly I will put this one. So now what I can do is I can come here, and if I want to increase its size, I will just click on the sides, and now with my shift, if I increase its size, the size will increase proportionally. Okay, so now I will come here, I will just put this thing right over here. Okay, and if I want to align it, I will also be able to align it properly. Suppose I'll select this one, and now I will just try to align it here in the center. Okay, so here you guys can see. Now I can come over onto this option and on the sides, and from the sides I will also try to make this thing kind of like this. Okay, and now place this one right over here, okay, on this side, and just make its size bigger proportionally. Okay, so I will just skip this right over here, and now what I'm going to do is I will come here in the center, and now I will just increase its size. So here I will just keep this thing here in the middle. Suppose in that case, now if I want to select all of it, and after that if I just select this one, and now if I come here into the align option, okay, so if I just want to align it here in the center, kind of exactly like this, okay, I can do that. Otherwise I can also come here, let's select this part, and from here I can also go to align option, and if I want to align it quite like this, I will be able to align it quite like this as well. Okay, so here you guys can see this is how I have just put on all the text over here. Okay, so the next thing what you can do is you can come here and you can check out the font type. Okay, suppose from here I want to select a different font type. So basically I can come here and select which type of font do I need. Okay, so now come here, select this text box, and from here maybe I will take some different kind of fonts. Okay, so I can just come down and check those things out accordingly. Okay, whichever what I like. Okay, so here under this one I do have different option. If I do want it in bold, so I'll just take this one in bold. Again, what I can do is I can come over onto this option, and from this option now I will go to this one right over here. If I want to come down, so here I will be able to come down as well. Okay, and now I will just select this one. Let's select this particular text box, and from here let's see which one looks better. Okay, so I'll select this one, and lastly I'll select this text box, and from here let's go down, and I will just come down over here again, and lastly I will put on the impact one. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have a different font type over here. Okay, so the same way, if I want to come here, if I want to bring this thing in top a little bit, I can just click on my uh, page up and down place. Okay, so I can come over here, and let's take this one again, and I'll just click on the page up option, and if I just want to decrease the spacing, I can do this one quite nicely. Okay, with this one. So once you're doing this one, don't be in any rush. Okay, so the more you keep the alignment better, the better it will look once you view it, once your particular design is done. Okay, so if I just want to go on top, so I will just make sure that my alignment is good. Okay, so here you guys can see I feel this alignment is kind of looking great. Okay, so in this place, what I am going to do right now is I am going to come right over here, and now I am going to actually change the font color. So if I do want to put up any stroke, okay, so let me just put a stroke of 1, And from here basically I will be able to see the color. Okay, so let's put this colors over here. And for the fill, I can come here and I can change the fill color. Suppose you don't want any colors from here for the strokes. In that case, here you guys can see there is this option. Okay, so I will just select this one. And now from here, I will be able to select the stroke color. Okay, so if I just take this color quite like this, click on OK. And after that, maybe I will just give this filling a different color. So I'll just come here onto the fill option, and from the fill option, maybe just select this color and just click on OK. So here you guys can see how it looks. So if you want to change the color of the stroke, if you want to give up a black stroke, you guys can come here. And if you want to change the stroke weight, you guys will be able to change the stroke weight from here as well. Okay, and in this particular word right over here, okay, if you don't want any color, okay, you guys can come here and select no color. But here in place of stroke, you guys can add a stroke kind of like this. Okay, so let me just select this stroke white over here. Okay, so now if I try to give any different colors, I will also be able to give up a different color from here. Okay, so before coloring, let's come back to this option. Let's go back. Okay, so I will come here and into the fill option as well. I will just put on black. Okay, so now here what you're going to do is I will just select all of it. Okay, if I want to align it in one side, I will be able to do that. So to make a good adjustment over here, what I'll do is I will just click on Control plus R from my keyboard, and here you guys can see I do have the ruler. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just bring out a ruler, and here in the last I can just put up this ruler mark. Okay, so I will just keep this thing right over here, and again I will take another ruler from this side, and maybe I will just put this ruler quite like this. Okay, so here you guys can see now at this particular place only, if I want to just align it properly, so I will come and let me just keep these things quite nicely. So the same way I will come here and increase the size, and again I will just select this box, and if I want to increase the shapes over here, I will be able to increase the shape. And now I will just come here, and if I want to align it here in the middle, I will also be able to align it here in the middle quite properly. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have these things right over here. Okay, so suppose if I want to put on some new designs. Okay, so in that case what I can also do is I can come over here. Let me just zoom in using Control plus option. Okay, so I will just select this word right over here, and let's just keep on no strokes. So here I don't have any strokes over here. If I just want to bring it down, I can also get this size down over here. Okay, so now as you guys can see, this looks quite great. So what I can do is I will come over here, go to the rectangle box, or before that I will come here. I will just select the eyedropper tool. Let's first select all of it. So I'll just select all of it, select the eyedropper tool, and from here I will make everything go white. Suppose if this particular thing I want to make some design in a white t-shirt, so in that case what you'll do, okay, so I will come here, take my selection tool, make some designs using all of this right here. So with rectangle tool, what I can do is I can come here and just make some rectangles. Okay, so if I just want to move it on the left hand side, if I want to align it to the ruler, I will also do that. So let me just keep this thing black only. So now once I have selected this, let's click on to uh, this mouse again. Let's select this, click on Alt, and after that here you guys can see, okay, now I am able to make some lines. So the same way, come over here and just keep up a good space. So again, I will just come down and let's come down here again. So now this is again here in the same line. Okay, so this is how you guys will be able to create some designs. So if you want to create a line, suppose if you want to create a 90-degree lines, you guys can come here, click on shift, and from here you guys will be able to make some lines. Just add some strokes to it. Okay, so here you guys can see I have added a stroke of 8. Now copy this one. Okay, just click on alt and just bring it down right over here as well. Okay, so here you guys can see now this one is quite ready. So lastly, come over to this option, go to the selection one, select all of this, go to the eyedropper tool and make all go white. Okay, so once you have done that one, you come here, go to this particular option, the rectangle tool, and just create a rectangle which just occupies all its area, which I do have over here. And now I will just keep this one a black color. Okay. And once I have put this black color over here, what I can also do is I can come here and now I will right click. Okay, so let me just get my selection tool, right click over here, go to the arrange option, and I will just select the option called send to back. Okay, so here I do have my send to back option. So now what I can do is if I want to select this color, and from here, suppose I want to actually change the color. Okay, so in that case, what I can do is I can come here and just take some colors. So there is a website called the Gradient. Okay, if I come here, okay, just type Gradient and just click on enter. So here under gradient, okay, you guys can see there are different color options which you can choose from. Okay, so if you're using it for gradient as well, in that case you guys will be able to do that. Suppose from here I want this color. Okay, so now I'll select here, and here you guys can see I do have the color code. What I'll do is I'll just click on Control C from my keyboard, and now again I'll just go to Illustrator, and I want to give that same color over here as well. So I'll just come here to the fill option, double click, and once you're over here, click on backspace and Control V and just click on OK. So here you guys can see that particular uh, word have changed its color to this particular color right over here. Okay, so the same way if I come over here and if I want to select what color do I want to choose, I can come here and I can choose up a different color. Okay, so maybe I will just come here, instead of colors I will just use some gradients. Okay, so let's come on to this option, let's select this one, and from here as you guys can see, okay, so this is the gradient option. If I want to add some colors to the gradient, in that case I will be able to do it from here. Okay, so if I want to select what kind do I want, suppose if I do want this one, I can come here and I can just click OK. So from here now what I can do is I'll come here, click onto this option, and now I will just right click, go to arrange option, bring to front. Okay, so this is how you guys will be able to add some gradient here as well. But as I already do have a black background, okay, so the gradient won't be that visible. Okay, so suppose I will just select this one, and after that I will just put on this gradient. So let me just select all of this, and now let's put on this gradient over here. Okay, so let's take this gradient, and now if I want to apply this gradient right over here, I can just apply the gradient here on the text instead of any box. Okay, so now here you guys can see the options. Okay, so you guys can come here, check over here as well. Okay, so radial gradient. So I will just come here and maybe with my selection tool, I will just select outside. So for now, I will just keep this thing simple, and I will just try to do it with the normal colors. Okay, so I will just come here, go to this solid option, and from here, if I want to get some kind of shady color, I will click on OK over here, and here you guys can see this color combination. So let those things be in white only. Select this text box, and from here, just come over here and just go on to something orange. So maybe I will just go into some dark orange over here. Okay, just click on OK. So here you guys can see now I will select this one over here, and now again I will just come to this option, and from here maybe I will just select some different color. Okay, so come here, go bit dark, come on to this option, click on OK, and lastly just select this particular box with the selection tool. This particular box over here, click on this fill option, go a bit red. Okay, so here I will be able to choose something dark as well. Okay, and just click on OK. So here you guys can see my t-shirt design with the typography is quite done. Okay, so here in the same way, if you want to put on some icons over here as well, you guys can come here and you guys can put on some icons over here as well. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is you need to come here, just select all of this. Okay, and suppose I want to put on some of that. So now I will come here, maybe onto the file option, and from the file option, what I'll do is I will just click on open, and here you guys can see I do have a different brush strokes. So from here, I will just take the AI file and I'll open it right over here. Okay, so here you guys can see I do have different brushes. So what I can do is I can just click on Control C. So let's take this one. Let's click on Control C. Okay, so I have just copied this one. And what I'll do is I'll come here and now I will just click Control V to paste it. So once this is selected, I can come here and maybe I will be able to change its color as well. Okay, so if I just take up a white color, so let's take this, let's go back. So let's bring it right over here. Here you guys can see this is kind of in a ash color. Okay, so if you want to move this thing up a little bit, you guys can just move this thing up from here. Okay, so if you want to select some different colors, suppose I will select this one, and if I want to check its transparency, okay, I will be able to check the transparency from here as well. Okay, so here you guys can see. Now I will just select normal. Okay, and after selecting this normal one, I will just keep this one over here. And with Alt, again, I will just duplicate this part as well. So and after duplicating this part over here, what I can do is I can just bring this thing on the down. Okay, so I'll come here, go to the arrange option and send to back, or I will just come here. Instead of send to back, go to send backward, and again go to the arrange option and just click on send to backward. Again, come over here, go to arrange option and just select this send backward option right over here. Okay, so come here and just send backward. Otherwise, just click on send to back from here. And now, one by one, you guys can come, bring front. So now here you guys can see this is how it should basically look. So again, the same way, go to arrange, send to back, right click again, go to arrange, bring forward. So here you guys can see this is how my t-shirt design looks like. So here, once you are happy with this particular word which you have done over here, okay, so now you don't need this guide. Select those guides and you guys can just delete those. Okay, so I'll just select this one and I'll just delete these things right from here. Okay, so what you can do is you can just select all of it. Suppose if I just want to make this path look a bit bigger. So in that case, if I select some white colors, so let me come here, let me just delete this one. Okay, so I will just delete this one from here on top, and down I'll select this part. Maybe if I just want to bring it down a little bit, I can just bring it down a little bit. If I want to increase the size, I will be able to increase the size from here as well. And if I want to click on the shift option, okay, then it will just give me a straight line. Okay, so come over here and now just give this thing a bit of stroke. So here I have given this thing a stroke to this path, and I will also give this thing a white color. So now I will just right click onto this option, go to arrange, and I'll select bring to front option. Okay, so here you guys can see, and if I want to increase the size more, I will also be able to do that from here as well. Okay, so now I'll go to this stroke option, click on white, and here you guys can see now I do have this path just underneath. Okay, so this is how you guys will be able to make some stunning designs for your t-shirt. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design. Okay, so now we are on our chapter number 3, and here I'll be showing you guys by designing a retro sunset t-shirt. Okay, so in this class we'll be learning about how you will be able to actually change the font type, how you can just select different effects, and from where you guys can also check out different color palette. Okay, so we'll be learning about all of that in detail here in this particular chapter. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the home page of the Adobe Illustrator. So from here, what I'll do is I'll just create a new file. Okay, so now I will just type retro sunset t-shirt. Okay, so I will just type retro sunset t-shirt over here, and now I will click on the create option, and here you guys can see now I do have a page. Okay, this is the art board in which I am going to work. So the first thing what you're going to do is you want to make some sunset design. Okay, so in that case, what you're going to do is you are going to come over here onto the shape option, right click on your mouse and take the ellipse tool right from here. Okay, so if you want to create some circle, you will be able to create some circle the way you want. But if you want to create some circle proportionally, in that case, you will need to click on the shift. And this is how you guys will be able to create some shapes. Okay, so suppose I will just keep it right over here and I don't want any stroke, then I'll off the stroke from this side. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just take up a color. Okay, so let me just take this red color right over here. Okay, and after this as well, we will be able to change the color of this design. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to duplicate this other ellipse shape over here. Okay, so I'll just select this one, and what I'm going to do is I will just click on Control C. Okay, so I have clicked on Control C, and just to paste another circle which I have just copied on top of this one, what I'll do is I will just click on Control F. Okay, so here you guys can see I have clicked on Control F. Now if you want to decrease the size of this particular shape proportionally, in that case just click on Shift and Alt, and now you guys can come here and decrease the size of this shape accordingly. Okay, so now here you guys can see I have decreased the shape from here, and what I'm going to do is now I am going to just increase the size a little bit over here. Okay, so a little bit over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this one to yellow. Okay, so here as you guys can see, so the same way again I will just copy this for about 4 or 5 times. Okay, then again I will just click on Control C, and after that Control F over here again. Okay, so if I just go back, Control C, okay, and Control F. Okay, so now I will again click on Shift and Alt, and I will just decrease the size from here as well. Okay, so I will just decrease this size. Again, the same way I will come down over here a little bit and change the color. Okay, so let's give this a green color over here. Now again, come to this option, click on Control C. Okay, and after clicking on Control C, click on Control F. And now again with Shift and Alt, just decrease its size. Okay, so just decrease its size a little bit. And now again, last, I will come over here, click on Control C and then Control F. Then after that, with Shift and Alt, just decrease its size. So I will just decrease its size over here. Okay, and now just put up a different color. Okay, so I'll just put up a different color over here and Control C again. Okay, then Control F. And after that, what I'll do is I will just click on Shift and Alt with my mouse. I will just decrease the size. So here, as you guys can see, I have decreased the size from here. If I want to give it up a different color, I will also be able to give this thing up a different color. Okay, so in this place, come here, come to this option and just give it up a different color. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have 5 layers over here. As you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 circles and 5 colors with different color. So now suppose if I want to just make this particular shape like on only I just still want over here. In that case, what you're going to do is there are different ways. So for me, what I'll do is I'll just take up my rectangle tool. And with the rectangle tool, what I'm going to do is I am going to create a box over here. And after that, I will come down, take my selection tool. And with the selection tool, you guys can come over here. And I will just put this thing here in the middle. Okay, so here you guys can see if you just want to take this here on top a little bit, you guys can also do that. So now I will just take this selection tool again. Once I have aligned it properly, I'll come onto this option and now I will just take the shape builder tool. Okay, so once I have selected the shape builder tool, now I want to delete all these parts. Okay, so in that case, now I will come onto this option over here. And after that, what I'm going to do is I am going to click on Alt from my keyboard. And here you guys can see my plus sign will become minus. That means that I will be able to select all these boxes and I will be able to delete it accordingly. Again, with my selection tool, here you guys can see I do have all these tools right over here. Okay, so the same way, suppose from here, what you want to do is you want to add some stroke. Okay, so if you want to add some white stroke over here, here you guys can see, you guys will be able to add some white stroke over here. So the same way I will come onto this option. So let's select this one first. So let's just decrease it by 2. So I will come here onto this particular shape as well. Come to white color and just give up a stroke of 2. Okay, so here you guys can see I will just give up a stroke of 2, and here as well I will just give up a stroke of 2. So once you're done over here, come to this option and at this option as well, just give up a stroke of 2. Okay, so here if you just notice there is a small changes over here onto this particular place. Come to this option again and just increase the stroke to 2 from here directly. Okay, so here now you guys can see that I do have these particular shapes and I will be able to use some colors over onto this one right now. Okay, So now let's check for different colors. Okay, so there is a website called the color hunt. So from here basically you guys will be able to see all of these colors. Okay, so if I want to bring all these colors which I want to use, what I can do is I will come here and I will go to my Illustrator file again, and now I am going to make some boxes. Okay, so let me just make some small boxes over here, and now I will just copy these boxes. So I will come over here. Let's click on the Alt option. And now I will just click on this one. Now duplicate this layer as well. And come over here. Duplicate this one here as well, and just put on 6 7 boxes. So after that, using the eyedropper tool, what you guys will be able to do is you guys will be able to copy those colors quite easily. Okay, so this is how you guys will also be able to make your color palette if you want to put it in one line. So you guys can come here and you guys can just centralize this one. Okay, so here I have just centralized all of this. So suppose from here I want to choose a color from color hunt. Okay, so as you guys can see, so right now what I'm going to do is I am going to select some colors quite like this. So in that case, otherwise let's take some bright colors. Okay, so here you guys can check out different colors. So let me just come here onto this option. Let's take this color. And once you just click on this code, it will be copied. And right now, come here in this color palette, just click on Control V and just click on OK. So here that color is being changed. Okay, so the same way, come over here and now go to this color palette option. And from this color palette option, you guys can come onto this option, click here, and it's being copied. Come to the Illustrator file, just click on this one over here, Control V and enter. Okay, so just select the colors, whatever colors you want to select. Okay, so I do have this one over here. I can just copy this color, and from here, I will just go to Illustrator, double click, Control V and enter. Okay, and again, the last color from this palette, I will come to this color and just double click over here. And now go to Illustrator file, go to the fill color option, Control V and enter. Okay, so now let's select another palettes. Okay, so from here, let's try to select some different colors. Okay, so let's come over here and let's try to check what are the different colors which I can basically use. Okay, so here I had chose some colors quite like this. And now if I wanna take this color, so I will just copy this one, come here onto the Illustrator option, and from here I will just click on Control V. Otherwise, let's go back. Come here, double click, Control V over here and just enter. Come down onto this option, double click. Okay, if you want to go to this option right over here, just copy this one, and afterwards come to Illustrator again, Control V again, and click on enter. And lastly, I do have this palette. Okay, and this one, what I'm going to do is I will again repeat the same process. Double click or just give up one click as well. No worries. I will come here, go to this option and just click on Control V and enter. So here you guys can see now I do have different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some of these colors over here. Suppose now I will just select this box, and here in this box, what I'm going to do is I am going to put on some colors of this one. Okay, so again, come to the eyedropper tool. From the eyedropper tool, basically you guys will be able to select the color. So let's come here, select this one again, and with the eyedropper tool, just bring this color out. And again, I will come to this option. Okay, so let's come to this selection tool, go to the third one, and from here, now let's select the eyedropper tool and just give up this color. Okay, select the selection tool, come to the fourth one over here, and after that, select the eyedropper tool, give the fourth color over here. And lastly, here in this place, if you want to give it a different color or not, so I will just select this color. Okay, otherwise you can just leave it white open as well. No worries with that. Okay, so you guys can come over onto this option, and what you can do over here is you can come to this option. Now take on the eyedropper tool, and with the eyedropper tool here you guys can select the color. Okay, so this is how it actually looks. If you don't want any fill, you guys can also choose not to have any fill right over here. Okay, but for me I just put the fill right over here. Okay, because this kind of looks good onto this one. Okay, suppose if I come here and if I just decrease its stroke, okay, like I don't want any stroke for it, so here you guys can see now this one looks kind of better. Okay, so right now I do have a kind of a rainbow-like structure over here, as you guys can see. Okay, so the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. Let's take a black and click on OK. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my text tool. Okay, so now I am going to write things down. Okay, so I will tell you guys again, if you just use Control R, okay, and take these rulers, make sure that you create some nice lining over here. Okay, again select this one and just put it right over here. Okay, so now I will come on to this option, and what I want to do is I want to put on some text. Okay, so come here and now just type your things down. Okay, so I'll just write happy vibes. Okay, so I'll just write this happy vibes over here, and if I want to increase the size with shift, I will be able to increase it quite nicely. If I want to increase it from this side here as well, so here you guys can see, you guys will be able to increase the size quite properly. So now what I can do is I can just keep this thing here on top. As you guys can see, I can just keep these things right over here. And now again, if I want to change the font, okay, suppose I will just select all of it, and from here I want to take up some different font. Okay, so there are a lot of fonts which you guys can actually choose from. Okay, so let's take this one over here, or let's take something bold. Now what I can also do is come on to this option and just decrease the size accordingly. Okay, so I will just decrease the size accordingly over here. Okay, so now if I want to place it over here on top, I will just place it here on top as well. If you want to increase the size just from the width, you guys will also be able to do that from here as well. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to come here, and now I want to actually change it. Okay, so go to this particular object option. Okay, so from the object option, what you can do is you can come here on to expand and just click on this option. So now if you just change anything right from here as well, okay, so this kind of looks good. Okay, so from this point right now, okay, if I come onto this option, what I can do is I can just click on Control C. Okay, and now I can also click on Control F. Okay, so I will just click on Control F, Shift and Alt all together. Okay, come here and just decrease the size a little bit. If you want to just hold it up and just give this thing up a different color, so come on to this option, and from here maybe you guys can actually give up some different color. Okay, so let's select the backside one and let's give it up a different color. Okay, so let's give this one some ash color. So let's give this one and just click on OK. So here you guys can see each and every time what you guys can do, you guys can come here and just check onto these options. So if I just zoom in here, you guys can see the changes. If there are tiny changes which you want to make, so you guys can come here and make some tiny changes accordingly. Okay, so here you guys can see that if you want to increase the size a little bit, okay, you guys can come here and also increase the size from here as well. This one right over here, if I want to increase the size, I can come here and I can increase the size. If I want to move this thing on top a little bit, I will also be able to move this thing top, down, bottom as well. Okay, so this was about that. So now the next thing what I'm going to do is I am going to make some writing, like I will just write some things down over here. Okay, so in that case what I can do is I will come here, take my text tool, and from here I will just write sunset. Okay, so I will just write sunset over here. And now I will take my selection tool again, and maybe I will just increase the size a little bit. And what I can do is I can just select which kind of letter do I want to use. Okay, so do I want to use anything in cursor? So under the filter option, I will be able to just select all of this. Suppose I just want this kind. In that case here, you guys can see I do have a lot of options from which I will be able to choose from here. Okay, so here you guys can see I do have a lot of things right over here. Okay, so if you want to go on top again, here you guys can see you guys will be able to move on top again as well. So if you want to just decrease the stroke, okay, so let's just decrease the stroke. Otherwise, you can increase it, but just increase the stroke from here as well. So now I have selected this one. And what I want to do is I want to expand it. Go to Object, go to the Expand option, and just click on OK. So suppose from here, if I just take my Type tool again, and now from here, let me just select one of it. Okay, so let me just come here and just let's select this one. And what I want to do is if I want to just select only one part, I will be able to do that from here as well. So now I will just keep this thing right over here. Okay, so let's just go on top. So let's just come out over here, take the selection tool, and from here, suppose I want to just increase its size. Okay, so I will just keep on this one. And now what I want to do is I want to go for the wrap text option from here. Okay, so if you come, go to the object option, and after that, here you guys can see if I want to increase its size, I will increase its size accordingly. So here you guys can see, you'll be able to increase the size from here as well. Okay, so I will just keep this thing kind of like this. And now if I want to put this over here, and if I want to give this thing a tilt, I will also be able to give this thing a tilt quite like this. Okay, at the same time, I can come over here in this particular option, and what I can do is I can just click on Control C. Okay, and now I can just click on Control F, and after that you guys can just move this thing on top a little bit. Okay, so with your arrow key you guys can come here and just move this thing around quite properly. So now let's come and let's select this option, and what I can do is I can just click on to make this one a white color. Okay, so let's give this fill a white color, and here as well to the stroke as well I can just give this thing a white color right over here. Okay, so you guys can come to this option. Okay, and let's come over here. So here you guys can see if you want to give some different color instead of a white color, so come here and try to give this thing a different color. So come on to the stroke option, And from the stroke option, let's go to some pink color. Let's click here and let's click on OK. So here you guys can see how it actually looks. If you want to give some different colors, from here you guys can come and you guys can just give this color, which is the strongest color over here. Okay, so now using the eyedropper tool, select the eyedropper tool and now just click on this one, and here you guys can see now the changes, how it actually looks. Okay, so this one looks a lot better than how it was looking. So here you guys can see this is the t-shirt design, which you guys will be able to make quite easily using all these options. Okay, so now if I just select this text box over here, go to the object option, go to text wrap, and if you just click on make, so you guys will be able to get these options from here. Okay, so basically you guys will be able to add the text wrap option from here as well. Okay, so once you're done, what you can also do is if you want to give up some effects over here, so for that, I have downloaded few of it from the free pick. So I will go to open option, and from here I will search where I do have this texture. So I'll just take this one and I'll just click on to open option. And from here, I will just take this particular thing right over here. What I'll do is I'll just click on Control C. Okay, come on to this option and I'll just click on Control V over here. Okay, so if you want to decrease the size, okay, with Shift, I will just decrease the size from here. Okay, and I'll just keep this thing quite over here on top. And now what I'm going to do is right click, go to arrange option, and I'll just set this particular thing to the back. Okay, so here you guys can see. So if I want to come over here, okay, so if I just choose this one, let me just put this thing straight. So I will just select all of this and now I can just delete this one. Otherwise, I can just group it and I can just make a new color palette. So for now, I will just click on to the delete option. And what I'll do is I'll come here and now I will just place it right over here as the background. Okay, so this is going to be the background of the t-shirt. And after that, what I'm going to do is I am going to select this layer and go to the layer option. Okay, so under this layer one here, you guys can see I do have all of these things right over here. Okay, so I do have this particular clip. So what I'll do is I'll just select this clip over here, and now I am just going to log this clip. Okay, and now I will select all the other parts which are over here. So I don't need my guides anymore. The work of my guide is done. So I'll just delete this guide over here and this guide over here as well. Okay, so I will just delete this one, click on your delete key. So now just select all of this, whatever is over here, and group all of this accordingly. Okay, so now if I just want to move it up here in the center, you guys can see I will be able to move it up accordingly. And now using Shift and Alt, I will also be able to increase the size. Okay, so here you guys can see I have just increased the size over here. So yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class on how you can make some sunset t-shirt design. Okay, so hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 4, and here we'll be doing t-shirt design with wrap text into custom shape. Okay, so I'll be taking a shape from here. Okay, and after that, what I'm going to do is I am going to turn that image into a path. Okay. And after that one, what I'll do is I will just put my text just in that shape. Okay, so we'll be learning about all of that here in this particular chapter. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the homepage of the Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up a new file. Okay, and now I will just name this one as a text wrap in custom shape. Okay, so after writing this one, what I'll do is I will come here and I will check that my sizes over here are okay or not. Okay, so my orientation is now in portrait, and yeah, the blade is fine, the color mode is fine as well, and I'll just click on the create option and it will create for me a page quite like this. Okay, so here as you guys can see, now I do have a page quite over here, and now I have already downloaded a image from uh, free pick. Okay, so that's a image of bottle. So I will just open that up here as well. Okay, so here I do have this particular image, and what I'm going to do right now is I will just zoom this in. I will select this one, click on shift, that I am able to decrease its size proportionally, place it right over here. Okay, and now what I can do is I can just click on Control C. Okay, and now I can come here and I can just put it right over here using Control V. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to turn this particular bottle shape into uh like into an path. Okay, so first off, if I do want to crop this image a bit, I can also crop this image a bit like till where I want. I can just keep that particular part. Hopefully I'll just keep till here, and now I can just click on the apply option. So here you guys can see now I do have this bottle. So the next thing after this, what I'm going to do is I will come here on the top option, as this one is a JPEG. Okay, so in that case I do have the image trace option. So from here, there you guys can see tracing presets. Okay, so basically from here I will come to the tracing presets, and from here I will select the sketched art option. Okay, so once you click on the sketch art option, here you guys can see I do have a page where it's a warning page telling me that tracing may proceed slowly with this large image. Like, would I like to continue? So I'll just click on OK with that and I'll go forward with that. And here you guys can see now I do have this image in black and white. Okay, so now as you guys can see, I do have this particular thing in black and white. Now, what I want to do is I just want to take this parts out, okay, and I want to make it whole black. Okay, so in that case, again, what I'll do is I'll come here, and here you guys can see just beside the preset, I do have an option called Image Trace Panel. Okay, so I'll just click on the Image Trace Panel, and from here, make sure that you guys increase the threshold accordingly. Okay, so here you guys can see once I'm increasing the threshold here, if you guys just notice these white parts over here on the sides, it's decreasing accordingly. Okay, so basically you guys can actually increase it, okay, the way you want. If you want to make the whole image dark, in that case you can come here and just get the whole image black over here as well. Let's come on to this point. Okay, so now here you guys can see now this one looks better. So once you're done with this one, okay, once you have done this tracing here as well, what you can do is you can convert this tracing object into paths. Okay, so now if I just click on the expand option, here you guys can see now I have created a path right over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, if you come here, if you want to change its color, in that case you guys can come over here and you guys can change the color of this thing. Okay, suppose I do want a green color, if I want a red color, if I want a yellow, I will be able to change it from here. Suppose in many cases what happened is like you won't be able to see that you do have any colors when you come to this particular image. Okay, so in that case, what you're going to do? In that case, you just need to come over here in the new swatch option, and from the swatch option, you guys need to change it because it will be in grayscale during that time. Okay, so if you just click on OK, if you just come over here, okay, so it will be in grayscale. You need to change it to something like CMYK or maybe RGB. Okay, so for now, I'll just choose the CMYK color, and I can just choose what kind of color do I want to use. Okay, so if I just want to make it a bit dark, I will just click on OK. And here you guys can see I do have the color in this particular model right over here. You can also change the color from this fill option right over here. Okay, and I'll just put out this image trace option if you just want to come down a little bit, or let me just zoom out a bit over here. And here you guys can see I do have this bottle right over here. So the next thing what I'll be doing over here is I will come here and I want to slice it up. Okay, like I want to create some parts. In that case, if I want to slice it up accordingly, I will come here and I'll select the knife tool. Okay, so using the knife tool, what you can do is you can just put on some strokes over here. Okay, suppose if I want to do some straight lines, in that case, if I just click on shift and if I just make some lines, it will have some straight lines. Okay, but I will come here and let's just make some cuts. Okay, so let's come over here. Okay, so I have given a cut right over here again. Okay, so now what I'll also do is I will just give a cut over here and also a cut over to the down part as well. Okay, so here as you guys can see, now I do have 1 2 3 4 cuts over here, which consist of 5 pieces. Okay, so now again I will just select this one, and maybe after going to the slice option right over here again, okay, if I want to come here and maybe just select this part, what I can do is I can just change its positioning, like give it a bit gap over here. Okay, so in that case, here you guys can see I'm using my arrow button, so I'm just bringing it on top a little bit. So here you guys can see now if I want to bring it down, I will click this one and I'll just go for page down option. Okay, so I will just come here onto the page down option. And again, from here as well, I will just go for the page down option. And the same way, I will come over here and I'll select the page down option right over here. Okay, so now here, as you guys can see, now these are 5 different parts over here. Okay, so I have first traced this image, and now I have just divided these parts accordingly. Okay, so I'll also show you why I did that right over here. I'll select it, and what I'll do is I'll just move it here in one side. Okay, so here you guys can see the clear gaps between all these lines over here. Okay, so what I'll do is I will come here, and now I will come to the type tool and I will just type things accordingly. Suppose from here, what I want to type is, so now I will just type the text. Okay, so here what I'll do is I will type I am, and now again I will just select this type text, and what I can do is I can come here and I can duplicate. See here, as I do have these 3 spaces. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I will just come here and now I will just duplicate this one. And what I can do is I can come here and I can just type things right here. I'm here for the, and now again I will select this one and now again click on all, duplicate this layer, and here I will type beer. Okay, so I will just type beer. I'm here for the beer. So here you guys can see now what I can do is I can select this one, and suppose I want to increase the size of the letters. Okay, so in that case I will select this one, and from here maybe with shift I will be able to increase the size from here. Suppose if I do want to change this character style, Okay, so from here, basically, I will be able to choose what kind of character do I want to put. Okay, so let's select impact for this one. Come here and select this with the selection tool again. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to increase the size of this one from here as well. And from here, basically, I will be able to choose from a lot of it. Okay, so let me take the abstract groovy from here. And now I will just increase the size of this thing here as well. Okay, and if I want to decrease it a bit, I will come here, select this one, and from here now I can just choose what kind of font do I want to use. Okay, if you want to change the color over here as well, you guys will be able to use the color from here as well. Okay, so now let me just keep this thing in normal black color. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to just put this text here in this particular shapes. Okay, so for that, the first thing which you need to do is you need to come over here onto the layer option. Otherwise, another thing which you guys can do is you guys can come here, select all of this, and after selecting, right click, go to the arrange option and click on bring to front. Okay, and once you've clicked here on bring to front, here you guys can see all the shapes which I have. Okay, so those things are here in front right now. Okay, so now if you want to put it in the shapes over here, in that case, let's select this particular text from here. And after selecting the text, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on shift, and the part wherever I want to put that one, I want to select that part over here as well. Okay, and after that, I can go to the object option. And from the object option, I can select the envelope distort. And from here, I will choose the make with top object. Okay. And the shortcut key for that is Alt plus Control plus C from your keyboard. And here, as you guys can see, once I clicked on that thing, here you guys can see now I do have it here according to the shape. So the same way, I will again click on shift and select this part. Okay, then now go to the object option, go to envelope distort, make with top object. Okay, and again here the last one, what I can also do is I can come here and now I can just select it with shift as well, and from here go to object, and from this object I will go again to the envelope distort, make with top object. Okay, so here you guys can see. Okay, so if I want to select it, and after selecting, if I want to actually increase its size, I will be able to increase its size from here as well. If I want to go back, I can go back from here as well. Okay, so here basically from here as well, you guys will be able to change the shape of the bottle. If you want to change the shape of the bottle from here, okay, so here you guys can see. And the same way, if you want to come onto these options from here, okay, suppose here you do have this option. If you want to change the color, okay, you guys can come here and maybe just give it a different color. Okay, so come over here and now just select this word again, and from here go to this option, and maybe if you want to select some different colors, you guys will get access to that from here as well. Now select this last one. Okay, and from here also you guys will be able to check the colors. Okay, so now as you guys can see here, I am done. Okay, so this is the design which I just made using a shape. Okay, so this is how you guys can actually use the wrap option. Okay, so here, okay, now if I want to have a black background, in that case, what I can do is I can come over here. Let's take this shape from here. And now what I'll do is I will just keep this box on top of this one, and let's give it a black color. Okay. And after that, I will just right click onto this option, take the selection tool, right click, and from here, send to back. Okay, so onto a black t-shirt, the design will kind of look like this. Okay, so you guys can choose different colors and check what kind of t-shirts and what kind of color combination you're gonna use. Okay, so this is one option. If you just want to come right over here, if you just want to select this particular part, suppose you want to select this part, and from here you want to give it up a different color. Okay, so in that case you guys can come here, double click on this option, and from here you guys can also choose some color. Let's take white, and here as well. Okay, let's come over here and let's take white from here as well. Okay, so now I have selected that color, and here you guys can see this is how it will actually look. So I hope you guys have understood this class on how you'll be able to wrap text around custom shape and make some design. Lastly, I'll show you how to save this. Okay, go to the file option. From there, go to save as, and from save as, you click on save on your computer. And here you guys can already see text wrap in custom shape. I already do have my name as I was making this file, and I'll just save it here in this document, and I'll just click on save, and this particular page have given me a popped up window. So here you guys can see the version and all, and I'll just click on OK, and this file right now is being saved properly. So I hope you guys have understood this class on how to make some t-shirt design using some text wrap option, using some custom shapes. So take care, everyone. Hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 5, and here I'll be showing you guys the summer t-shirt design in the Illustrator. Okay, so in this class I'll be showing you how you will be able to create up a blank background, and also how you log that thing up, and I'll also be explaining you guys how you'll be able to get some graphics, and after that how I'll be able to write on a path. Okay, we'll be learning about all of that here in this particular chapter. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the home page of the Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing over here, what I'm going to do is I am going to create up a new file or a new document. Okay. And over here, I'll be naming this one as the summer t-shirt design. Okay. So I will just name this one as the summer t-shirt design over here in the rename panel. And I need to make sure that my width and the height is okay, like my artboard size over here. And from here, you will also be able to choose the unit in which you're going to work. Like, are you going to work in inches, picas, or in fits, millimeters? It totally depends up to you in what unit you are planning to work. Next comes the orientation. Okay, so I will take orientation of landscape. I will make sure that I choose one artboard. I'll keep a blend of 0.25 inches, and in color mode, I'll make sure that I choose the CMYK color mode. And I will click on create over here. And as you guys can see, now here I do have an artboard right over here present. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I want to make this artboard black. Okay, so in that case, I will come here, I will take my shape tool. So from here, as you guys can see, I have taken this rectangle shape tool. And now from here, I will try to create a rectangle box. So I will just come here onto the bleed, and from here I will come onto this option, make sure that I am there in the intersect. Okay, and I will come here, click cancel, and I will increase the size from here as well. Let me just come down, and I will also decrease the size from this end over here as well. Okay, so now I have just filled up this whole page with a shape. Okay, with a rectangle shape over here, and I'll go to the colors, and now I will just make this shape a black color. Okay, so as you guys can see, now I do have this particular shape which is in black color. Okay, And after that, I will come here onto the layers option. So if you don't have the layers option onto your right side, make sure that you go to the Windows panel. And in Windows panel, here you guys can see you do have a lot of option down here. So make sure that you just click on the layers icon over here and you will be able to get this particular icon right over here. Okay, so I'll just come here onto the layer option. And what I'm going to do is I am going to log this layer over here. Okay, so I have just logged this particular layer right over here. And now what I can also do is if I want to write anything, okay, so in that case I will be able to write a lot of things down from here. Okay, so let's come here, let's log only this part. Okay, so in the layer one I will only log the rectangle, not the whole artboard. Okay, so you need to make sure of that from here. So I have just logged the rectangle. So once I'm done with this thing, the next thing what I'm going to do is I am going to create a circle or an ellipse. Okay, so again for that I will come here, and as you guys can see I have already selected the circle over here. So now first you need to think that what kind of design you're going to make. Okay, so for me I will just create some circles, and onto that I will put on some text, and in middle I am going to put up a graphics. Okay, so that is going to be my design. So if I want to create a circle over here from the center, okay, so for that, what I need to do is I need to click on Alt. Okay, so once I click on Alt, when I'm selected with my ellipse tool here, you guys can see now I do have uh, the mouse icon changed into a different one. Okay, so now if I want to create a circle, okay, so in that case here you guys can see from here I will be able to create a circle. But at the same time, what I want to do is I want to create this circle, and I want to make this circle proportionally big or small. So for that, I will just click on Shift again. And after clicking on Shift, here you guys can see I have made this circle quite like this over here. Okay, and I will place this one right over here. Okay, so I will just place this thing right over here. So now once I have put this thing here in the exact center, here you guys can see now I will just come here and I will just turn it into a white color. Okay, so I want to turn this thing in a white color. So I'll just select white and I'll just click on OK. So here you guys can see now I do have a white color right over here. And in place of stroke, I won't put any color for stroke over here. So right now, as you guys can see, I do have a circle right over here. And the next thing what I'm going to do is I will select this one, and I want to make another copy of the circle right over here. Okay, so in that particular case, what I'm going to do is I am going to click on Control C. Okay, and once I've clicked on Control C, I want to copy that particular circle just on top of this existing circle. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will click on Control F. Okay, so here as you guys can see, now I have clicked on Control F, and if I want to change the color, I will come over here and let me just give this one a dark color. Okay, and I'll click on OK. So now if I want to decrease the size of the circle proportionally from the middle, in that case again I will just click on Shift and Alt. Okay, and I will just decrease the size accordingly. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I will be able to decrease the size of this box accordingly using Shift and Alt. Okay, so the shape from all the sides is quite the same. Okay, so in all these particular sides the shapes are almost the same. So if I just come here and if I just zoom in, so here you guys can see, if I'll just move this thing around, here you guys can see it is just decreasing the size proportionally. If I come here on top, here you guys can also see the same happening right over here. Okay, so here I have created two circles, okay, just in middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do now here is I am going to just put out or cut out this middle part. Okay, so how you will be able to do that? In that case, you need to select both of this. Okay, so you need to select both of this. Before that, go to the Windows option, and from the Windows option, make sure to select the Pathfinder option right over here. And if you want to put it over here, here you guys can see I do have the Pathfinder option just underneath. Okay, so I'll select this, and with my shift option, I'll come here and I'll also select this icon right over here. So I have selected both of this. Now what I'll do is I will go to the Pathfinder option, and from the Pathfinder option, what I'll do is I will just click on the minus front option, which is present over in the shape modes. Okay, so I will just select the minus front option, and now uh, once I come over here, let's select this one, and if I just move it out, here you guys can see that middle part is being cut out. Okay, so now again, I will just move it here in the exact center. Okay, so here I have just moved it over here in the center. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm almost done working with this ellipse tool right over here. Okay, so here I am satisfied where I will be putting on all of my text. Okay, so the next thing what I am going to do right now is I am going to put on some graphics. So for that, I will go to File, and from File, I will click on Open option. And from Open, what I'll do is I will come here onto the Downloads option. Okay, I will double click onto this one. Okay, and first of all, I will come here. Let's go to the downloads option. Okay, and first I will just extract all of it. Okay, so I need to make sure that I extract all of this first, and then I will be able to like upload those things out over here. Okay, so I will just delete this one. Okay, so I will cancel for now. Let's go to the AI file, go to the file option, go to open, and I will select this one. Okay, and I'll just take this AI file and I will click on the open option. Okay, so now I will click onto this. I will just replace fonts. Okay, so I will just take the Britannic bold and I'll just click on OK. So now as you guys can see, I do have this particular design. So what I can do is I can just take this particular design from here. Okay, suppose I want to take all these things out. Okay, so suppose from here I will select this one. Okay, so the whole thing right over here. Okay, so select this whole thing and click on Control C. Okay, so I'll just take Control C over here, and now I'll just paste it using Control V. Okay, so if I do wanna increase the size, here you guys can see I can just take that things. Okay, otherwise I will just select the whole thing out. Okay, so suppose I want to select all these particular things right over here as well. So in that case, I will come here with the selection tool, and with the selection tool, what I'm going to do is I am going to select this whole thing out. Okay, so I have just selected the whole thing over here. Now what I'll do is I will just group those things up. So let's just deselect each and everything again. And from here, I will just remove this part. And now what I'm going to do is I will take this and let me just ungroup this one. So I'll just select this outside part. Maybe I will just come back over here again. Okay, select this particular part, and what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this one. Okay, so I will just select this part. So let's just copy this, or let's select all of it all together from here. Control C. Okay, and let's try to paste it over here. Let's see how it actually looks. Okay, so this one looks quite okay for now. Okay, so in that case, again, what I will do is I will come over here, and now I will just paste this thing right quite here in the middle. Okay, and I will right click, go to arrange option, and now I will click on send back. Okay, not send backward over here. Again, right click, and now I will just go and I'll click on send backward option. So here you guys can see now I do have this icon right over here. So if I want to actually decrease the size quite like this, I will be able to decrease the size quite like this right over here. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have some icons. Okay, if I do want to change it, okay, I will also be able to change it right from here. Okay, if any graphics from here you didn't like, in that case you guys will also be able to do the same thing quite right here. Okay, so as you guys can see, now I do have this icon right over here. Okay, so the next thing, what I'm going to do right over here is I am going to take another ellipse circle. Okay, so now again, I will take the ellipse tool. So using the ellipse tool, now again, I'll just click on Alt and Shift. Okay, and now I will just create another circle here in the middle. Okay, so I'll just click onto this one, and now maybe I will just put it right over here somewhere. Okay, so I will just put this thing right over here somewhere. And what I'm going to do is I will just change the fill color to none. And I will just give the stroke color to a different color. Let's take a blue. So I will just give this thing a blue color, and I will just click on OK. So here you guys can see, so if I just want to align this one properly, as I have selected this new layer, I'll click on Shift and I'll select this other layer as well. And now what I'm going to do is I will just horizontally align it here in the center. And afterwards, vertically also, I will align it here in the center. So as you guys can see, now this one, I do have this particular stroke right over here. Okay, so if I want to decrease the size proportionally with Shift and Alt, I will also be able to decrease the size proportionally right from here as well. Okay, so from here, now once I have made this particular path, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my type tool. Okay, so using the type tool, what I want to do is I want to type things up. Okay, so in that case, if I just click on Shift, here you guys can see once I am here on the path. Okay, I will just click on Alt, and here you guys can see now I have this word. Okay, I just left click on my mouse, and this is filled with all this text right over here. Okay, so I'll just click on backspace, and I will just write summertime. Okay, so I will just write summertime. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I am going to select this. Okay, so I am going to select this whole thing out, and from here now I am going to increase the size from here as well. Okay, so I'll just increase the size to 64 over here, and after that, otherwise let me just take it somewhat around 60. Okay, so after typing this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to change the font. Okay, so for that, I will go to the character option, and from the character option here, you guys can see I have taken this bold one right over here. And now what you want to do is you want to put this thing here in the middle. Okay, so now once you come here onto the rotate option, okay, so if you want to rotate this one, you guys will be able to rotate it. Okay, so now here, first I will try to put it here in the center. And as you guys can see now, once I try to put this thing here in the center, this is not the way I want it to be. Okay, so afterwards rotation again. And from here onto the angle option, what I'll do is I will just give 180. Okay, so now after giving 180, once I click on OK, here you guys can see now I do have this option right over here. Okay, so at the same time, what happens is now I am not able to view it quite properly, as I do have this particular path which is right over here. Okay, my word or my letters which I just typed down, okay, that one is basically over onto the top. So what I want to do is I just want to put those things here in the center of the path. So for that I will go to type, okay, and I'll go to type on a path, okay, and after that I will go to type on a path options, and from here what I'll do is align to path, and I will just select center, and I will just click on OK. So here now, as you guys can see, now I have just put that thing here in the center. Okay, so now again with my type tool, what I can do is I can come here and maybe select this thing out, and if I do want to increase the size a little bit, I will be able to increase the size a little bit from here as well. Okay, so the same way, if I want to increase the tracking, okay, so tracking is just the spacing between the letters. Okay, so if I want to increase the tracking, I will also be able to increase the tracking from here as well. Okay, so now here, as you guys can see, this one now looks quite better. Okay, so as you guys can see now, this kind of looks really great. So now once I am done with this one, what I want to do is I want to put some text here underneath here as well. Select this path, click on Ctrl C, okay, and again now click Ctrl F. So I have just copied this one on top of here. Okay, so once I've selected this one, go to type on the path, again type on the path option over here, and now make sure that you go to the rotate option. I'll just cancel it for now. I will just go to the rotate option, and I will just give this thing a 180-degree rotation. But now the problem over here is I don't want to view this thing quite like this. Okay, so let's come over here, let's select, let's click on the backspace, or let's select on this part over here, summertime, and now I am going to write life at beach. So I will just write life, otherwise I will just go back again. So I will just write life at beach. So I will just write life at the beach. Okay, so now again with this tool I will just put this right over here, otherwise keep this and just backspace. And what I want to do is once I am selected with this thing, I want to rotate it. So for that, go to type option, type on a path, go to type on a path option, and here you guys can see I do have an option called flip. Okay, if you do want to see the preview how it will actually look, okay, so you guys can click onto that option right over here and just click on OK. So this one right over here looks quite great at this point. Okay, so once I'm done, what I can also do is I can just put on some of the stars and all. So now I will come here and let's put some stars right over here. Let me just zoom in. So let's just go on to one side. Okay, so from here now again with Alt and Shift, I want to create a star. Okay, so I will just create a star right over here. And what I want to do is I just want to put this star quite right here. Okay, so I'll just put up the stars quite over here. Let me just zoom out. Okay, so if I want to duplicate this one, okay, I will also be able to duplicate this one from here as well. Okay, so before that, what I can do is I will just change its spacing properly. So I will come over here. Let's come and let's select this. Okay, so I will just select this one. If you want to decrease its size, you guys will also be able to decrease its size accordingly. Okay, so suppose here in the center, what I want to do is I want to put on some ellipse. Okay, so I'll just click on Shift and Alt. And now I will just create some ellipse over here accordingly. And now I will just place it here in the exact center. Okay, and after putting it here in the exact center, I can also give this thing up a great white color. Okay, so this is how it actually looks. And what I can do is I will just Control Z, select this layer with Shift, select this one as well, and I will just group this thing up. And once I've grouped this thing, I will just click on Alt to copy. So I have just copied this part from here as well. Okay, and now I will just move on to the other side. Okay, so I will just move on to the other side over here, and I need to make sure that I do have the same spacing as I do have over here. Okay, so now I will just place this thing right over here, and here you guys can see this is the t-shirt design. So now here, as you guys can see, I have created this particular design. If you want to change the font and anything, you guys will also be able to change the font and stuff, kind of like that. If I want to add some different things, okay, so in that case, I will also be able to do that. So Shift and Alt, and now I will also increase the size. And after that, what I'll do is I will just bring this thing quite right here. And if I wanna change it, or if I do want to bring it back, in that case I will come here, I will go to send backward, right click, go to arrange, send backward, and again go to arrange, send backward over here. So I will come here and I will keep on going backward one by one. Okay, so right click, go to arrange, send backward. So here, as you guys can see, now I do have actually changed it to quite an extent right over here. So if I want to change up the color, so using the eyedropper tool, I can come here and maybe I will be able to select up a different color from here. Or if you want me to select some yellow colors, so in that case, I will also be able to select the colors quite like this. And if you want me to decrease the size a little bit, I will also be able to decrease the size to quite an extent. So I will just select this with the shift as well. Now I will just align it uh, horizontally in the center, and also I will align it in the vertical center as well. Okay, so now as you guys can see, now I do have this particular icon right over here, and this is the design which I have just created right over here. If you want to give some different colors, you guys will also be able to give up some different colors. Okay, you guys can actually play around with different colors. Just check out which one looks better. Okay, so you guys can come here, maybe select this one. Okay, so for me, I kind of feel that this looks quite better. So this is my design. I hope you guys have understood this class on how you will be able to make some t-shirt design, like basically some summer t-shirt design over here. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Illustrator t-shirt design. So now this is the class project, and this is the class project 1, where I'll be making a simple character. Okay, so I'll be showing you guys how you will be able to make one simple character using the Adobe Illustrator. So let's get into that. First, I'll show you guys the steps, then we'll move on to how you will do that, and I'll be waiting for you guys to submit me your work. So let's see how you'll start. So here on my screen, as you guys can see, I do have the name of the class projects, which is making a simple character. Okay. So here I do have a description and also a outcome, which you guys can check out from here. Okay. So the description is creating characters can vary in complexity and style. Starting with simple and shapes, gradually adding details helps in creating a unique and visually appealing character design. And you feel free to experiment with different tools and techniques to find your preferred style. Okay, and here I will go on to the steps. So the step number 1 is create a new document. Step 2, create different shapes to make different part of the character. Step 3, use the shape builder tool to combine shapes. Step 4, select colors accordingly into those shapes. Step 5, and the last step is save the file and upload it in our project panel. So what kind of outcome you might expect? Okay, so the outcome of creating a simple character in Illustrator can vary based on your design choices style, and skill level. However, a simple character design typically results in a visually appealing illustration with defined features and characteristics. Okay, so you need to make sure that whatever character you're building up or whatever character you are designing, that do have a purpose and you're already visually, it looks kind of visually appealing. Like if make sure that your proportion and your shape size and everything is quite in a visually appealing format. So let's go into our Illustrator. Let's find out how you will start making one. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm in the home page of the Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing what I'm going to do over here is create a new file. And over here, I will name this as class project 1. Okay, so I will just name this as class project 1 and I'll click on this create button to create an artboard for me. So here, as you guys can see, now I do have an artboard over here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take up a rectangle. So what I'll do is I will just try to create a rectangle, and I need to make sure that the rectangle which I will create right now is having a great proportion. Okay, like I will click on shift and I will create a rectangle quite like this. And once I'm done creating this over here, I will make sure that I just decrease the size from here. I will keep this thing quite over here. And now here, as you guys can see, now I do have a pen tool over here. So what I'll do is I will try to work with this one. So let's try to give this thing a fold kind of over here. And now let's come here, and over here as well, I will just give this thing a curve. So again, the same way, I will come onto this option and I will just try to give this a curve over here. So from this angle, what I'll do is if I want to go back, Control Z, I will come here. I will just make a zigzag line. So I will come here again and I will just put this one over here, and right here I will also try to create a shape. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I am trying to create a shape right over here, and what I'll do is I will try to put it in the exact line. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have this exact shape over here. So with this tool now I can come here and I can just change the fill color maybe to somewhat this color. So here you guys can see, and with your direct selection tool, what you can do is if you want to change the anchor point, suppose if I come here and if I want to change the anchor point, so here you guys can see I will also be able to change this anchor point quite like this. Okay, so the next thing is come here onto this option, select the ellipse tool, make sure you click on shift. So I'll click on this one, and now again I will just top this one up with another shape. Okay, so I will just stop this one up over here and make sure that you put that here in the center. And now you give this one a white color. Okay, so I will just come here. I will select this selection tool. Make sure you come over here and you give this thing up a white color. Right click onto this one, go to the arrange option and just click on send to back. Okay, so I have sent this thing to back. So I will just group both of this with shift. I'll select this layer as well. So now I'll click on Ctrl G to group it up. And after that, I will decrease the size accordingly. So I want another one quite like this. So the same way, what I'm going to do is I will come here. And now what I'll do is I will click on Alt. Okay, so I will select this one, click on Alt, and now I will just duplicate this over here as well. So now I will just put this thing right up here, and this one I will double click again and move this one a bit over onto this side. Okay, so I will just keep this thing quite over here as well. Make sure that when you choose it with the direct selection tool, I will just make this anchor point and I will come over here. maybe I'll just put this thing on top a little bit. Okay, so here you guys can see now this one is in the center. So if I want to move it up, I will be able to move it up quite easily. Okay, so I will select this again and just click outside. As this one is grouped, I will just move it over here, and I will just move this thing right over here as well. Okay, so now I want to make a no structure. So in that case, I will come here, and now I will just create these shapes. Okay, and again the same way, what I'll do is I will come here, click onto this one with the selection tool, and I'll just duplicate this one a little bit. Okay, so I will just duplicate this one. And what I can do is I will come here, select both of this, and select my shape builder tool. And I will just join these things right over here. Okay, select this with the selection tool, and now here you guys can just put up the nose quite like this. Okay, and now if I want to put up face, okay, come here, select this tool, make a shape quite like this. Okay, and from here again I will just take my selection tool, click on alt, duplicate this one, and suppose if I come over here, let's take this particular shape from here. Okay, so I have just created the shape. So what I'll do is again I will just select both of this, and after selecting, what I'm going to do is again I will take my shape builder tool, and with this what I'm going to do is I am just going to click on alt. So I'll delete this part and this part over here as well. So I'm left out with this part, so I will just keep this mouth right over here. Okay, so here you guys can see the character which I have built right over here. If I want to give any ears and all, in that case I will come here, I have given this one, click on alt, duplicate this, and now what you can do is you can just keep this thing in one side. Okay, and this one here as well, just keep this thing in one side. Just click on arrange option and send to back. The same way, come here, right click, go to arrange option and send to back over here as well. Okay, so if you want to give this any colors, okay, you guys will be able to give this thing different colors. So let's come to the swatches, otherwise directly from here as well, if you want to give up any color. So let's come to this option over here, give okay, and here as well I will come onto this option, and I'll also give this thing the same color. Okay, so I'll select this one, select the eyedropper tool, and with this one here you guys can see now I do have exact color right over here. And this one, if I do want to increase the stroke a little bit, here you guys can see I have increased the stroke from here as well. Okay, so now for the neck, what I'm going to do is I will come over here, and from here, now what I'll do is I will come and select the rectangle tool again. But this time I will make this rectangle quite like this. I will just off the stroke from here. Okay, so I'll just off the stroke, and I will just take up a normal color. Okay, something very common, like something quite light. So I'll just keep this one right over here somewhere. And now right click, go to arrange and send to back. Okay, so I have just sent this thing back here as well. Maybe move this thing a little bit. Okay, and afterwards with this ellipse tool, what I'm going to do is I am going to create an ellipse. Okay, and now maybe put this ellipse quite right here. Okay, so I'll just keep the ellipse quite right here. Maybe give this thing a different color. Okay, so I'll just give this thing a different color. And with this line tool, I am going to make up a straight line. Okay, so I need to see where my smart guide is. Okay, so I will come here, select this one, make up a line, go to the shape builder tool, and before that, select all of this. Okay, so I'll just select all of this over here, go to the shape builder tool, and from here click on alt, minus this out, and minus this one as well, and this one over here as well. Again, come here, select the selection tool, and here you guys can see I am done building the character. So hope you guys have understood this class, and I'll be waiting for you guys to send me your work. Okay, so you guys can do a lot of things, like if you want to put on hands, if you want to make some more designs, like give some pockets over here, make it a shirt and all, you guys can do that over here as well. Okay, make these characters more visually appealing. You guys will be able to do that from here as well. But I have just showed you guys the basic of how to do or build up a character. I'll be waiting for you guys to send me your work. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.